Houston, we might have a problem. The Heat lose to the Nuggets 103-97. The 5-game winning streak on the road is snapped as they fall in a close game against the Denver Nuggets. I have a lot of thoughts about this. I'm not going to overreact to this loss, but I certainly believe there might be a larger picture thing that we have to discuss here in this ball game. We'll rotate through some stats, but realistically, the stats don't really tell the picture of what I think we need to talk about. Bam was the leading scorer for Miami tonight with 22 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Like I said, we'll go through stats as well, but I just don't know if the Miami Heat can beat the Denver Nuggets in a 7-game series. And I don't even know if injuries could save Miami. I get Tyler Herro to not play tonight, and the Heat were not fully healthy with Kevin Love out, Josh Richardson not in the lineup, and you had to go to Orlando Robinson as that backup center tonight with K-Love out. But to me, I don't really know, and obviously it's going to make a difference having Tyler Herro on the team. But my thing is that you can't score on Denver. You struggled to shoot so much in this game. Jimmy struggled. 8 of 18 from Bam. 8 of 18 as a center. That's not good. Jimmy shot 7 of 17. I think I would count 4 combined layups missed between Bam and Jimmy. And I'm not saying those layups. I'm saying point blank layups. These things can't happen. And then Terry Rozier with an all-time weird game. 19 points. He had 6 or 8 points, I think, in the fourth quarter, which helped Miami go from down 11 to, they were down 2 at one point, 99-97. And he got you back in the game, but he shot 1 of 8 from 3 that included 4 air balls. I personally have never seen a player as good as Terry Rozier is. And I know he has struggled with his shooting since joining the Miami Heat, but I know what he's capable of as a scorer. I have never seen in my entire 23 years of life a player as offensively gifted as Terry Rozier airball 4 threes in a game. And I'm not going to mention that I can't recall all 4 of them, but 2 of them were wide open. 1 came off the catch on the right wing, catch and shoot, airball. 1 also coming off of a screen where he was dribbling. Bam set a perfect screen to free up Terry Rozier. Wide open 3 from the right wing, airballed again. I just have never seen a player that is as good as Rozier miss as many 3-pointers that are as open as they were, so wildly and so blatantly. I'm not going to come out here and be concerned, but it is something to monitor that ever since joining the Miami Heat, Terry Rozier is shooting sub 40% from the field, which is not good, and shooting sub 25% from 3, and that number will only continue to go down as he shot 1 of 8 today. It's not a good sign if you're the Miami Heat, if he's continuing to miss these threes so badly. I need to know your thoughts, though. Are you concerned about Terry Rozier and the Miami Heat? I wouldn't say Miami Heat, because I don't think this one game changes my outlook on the Heat season. I don't. Are you concerned about Terry Rozier specifically? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I think we do have to have a discussion, though, about the Heat and their NBA title aspirations. I think that the Heat have done an excellent job over the last 4 seasons of being the best team in the Eastern Conference. They haven't had the best record every year. They had the best record in 2022. But they have constantly been the upper echelon in the East. 3 Eastern Conference Finals appearances, most in that time span, tied for the most with Boston. And 2 NBA Finals appearances, most by an East team since Jimmy Butler joined the team. So to me, the roster construction is fine in terms of if you want to be the best team and the team to beat in the East. I just don't know if this team is currently constructed to beat the Denver Nuggets. And we talked about it briefly off the top, and I rebutted my own saying of, yes, I get no Herro, no Kevin Love, no Josh Richardson in this ball game, and Orlando Robinson was getting PT. But here's the thing also when you look at Denver. They did not have Jamal Murray for the entire second half, and they still cooked you. And you ended up actually posting a good defensive effort. The Heat continue to be the best defensive team in the NBA, only allowing 103 points. You did get lucky. Nikola Jovic shot 6 of 15. He won't do that often. So you got lucky with him missing a lot of point-blank jumpers and a couple even shots inside the paint that he normally makes. You got lucky with the defense stuff. My concern, and it goes back to the NBA Finals, is only scoring 97 points. Talk about it in just a second. But I do got to show some love to our sponsor on today's show, which was Factor Meals. Head to factormeals.com/HeatChat50 and use code HeatChat50 to get 50% off. Why is Factor awesome? Well, it's healthy and delicious meals that are dietitian approved, chef crafted, that get delivered straight to your door and are ready to be heated up and eaten in just 2 minutes. I love Factor meals. You see some of the meals on screen right now. I had a perfect one for lunch today. It was a grilled chicken with some Lear mash and a corn and zucchini side. It was fantastic. And there's no prep, no mess, no cleaning up, which is for me my favorite part. That's why I go to Factor for my meals for every single week. You can pause and reschedule your meals. You can choose between 6 to 18. Factor Meals really does it all. They are the perfect way to stay healthy, but also keep those flavors that you crave and good pieces of meat if you're there, but you can go vegan and veggie if you don't. They're the perfect solution for everyone. So take advantage of their special edition offer using code HeatChat50 at factormeals.com/HeatChat50. Get 50% off today. That link is in the description. It's also in the comments of today's video. But the reason why I want to go back to I don't think the Heat can be currently constructed to win the NBA Finals. Maybe I would think differently if they had a Damian Lillard. But I will still remain the stance that for the overall long term of this team, I think I'm okay and happy with the Heat keeping Jaquez, Jovic, and Tyler Herro rather than having Dame. And maybe I would feel differently if Dame was on this team and was cooking as a big three with Bam and Jimmy. But that's a different discussion for a different day. But here's the thing. We always talk about Boston, Milwaukee, New York as teams we have to worry about and compete with in the Eastern Conference, which is fair because in order to win the finals, you have to go through the East and get past those teams. But in order to reach the goal that Miami, Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra, Jimmy, and Bam want to reach, you do have to beat a team from the Western Conference in order to reach those goals. And if we're going to be honest, I don't see, and maybe there's an upset with injuries, who knows, I don't see the team coming out of the West not being the Denver Nuggets for the next 3 or 4 seasons. As long as Nikola Jovic, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, KCP are still that starting 5 for the Denver Nuggets, I think they will always be the team coming out of the West. I truly do. Maybe the Thunder reach them in a year or two, but at least in the next 2 years, no chance. So you're talking about the Jimmy window when he's still playing at a completely high level. Those are your next 2 years. And unless Kevin Love is able to dissect and be a game changer, the issue still remains inside because as much as I am bullish on Nikola Jovic, and I thought he played a pretty good game where he had 7 points, 6 rebounds, had a couple turnovers, which was disappointing. He was 3 of 5 to start the game, ended up 0 of 3 and finished 3 of 8. But like you just are too small inside. Michael Porter Jr. cooked you for 30. Aaron Gordon is so versatile as that power forward where he could play outside, play the dunker role, play the slasher, play the defensive stopper. And then you obviously have Nikola Jovic. So if you have to continue to face the Denver Nuggets to win the NBA Finals, I just don't know if this Heat team is good enough to beat them. Do you all agree? Like, let me know in the comment section. Do you guys think the Heat can beat the Denver Nuggets in a 7-game series? Take your bias out of it. As an objective viewer of the game of basketball, could the Heat beat the Nuggets in a 7-game series? Because they whacked you in 5 last time you matched up in a 7-game series in the NBA Finals, where you only scored over 100 points one time. The one game you won, you scored over 100. The 4 you lost, you scored under 100. Guess what? He scored 97. You didn't get to 100 points against the Nuggets. You lost again. Like, if you would have told me that you hold the Nuggets to 103 points, I would tell you in response, the Miami Heat need to win that basketball game 10 out of 10 times. If you hold the Denver Nuggets under 110 points, that's the benchmark. You hold them under 110, you need to win that game every single time. But they continue to showcase that they are a nightmare matchup against you because they have Jokic, who for some reason does a good job defending Bam. I don't know if it's Bam's inability to finish inside, like 8 of 18 from the field, that's not good. And he missed 2 or 3 layups. Obviously, if he makes those, you're now 10 of 18, that's a good game. That also gets you way closer to the scoreboard and gets you over 100 points. But he just missed a couple point-blank shots that he needs to start making. And then Aaron Gordon defending Jimmy, he does a great job. Jimmy, once again, shot 7 of 17. Like, that's not good. Aaron Gordon did a terrific job defending. The one guy that you need to attack on that starting 5, because Jamal Murray and KCP are also solid defenders, is Michael Porter Jr. The issue is he's so lengthy, and he's always guarding either the Nikola Jovic, the Duncan Robinson, the Caleb Martins. Caleb Martin can't even take Michael Porter Jr. off the dribble like that. Every time he tried to, he'd lose the ball or pull up for a mid-range jumper, and MPJ's long arms would create an awkward shot for Caleb. The Nuggets are so well-balanced and so well-crafted as a team to where they are just a mismatch for Miami. The Heat can do a decent job defending them. They can. But the Heat can't score on the Denver Nuggets. And that is the larger issue at hand here. Because if you go back to the NBA Finals, the last 6 times the Miami Heat and Denver have matched up, 5 of those 6 games, the Heat have failed to eclipse 100 points. If you're not eclipsing 100 points in today's NBA, you're not going to win ball games. That's going to do it for today's video. I'll see you next live on Saturday for a game against the Utah Jazz where the Heat finally return the home for the first time in what feels like 2.5, 3 weeks, which I think is actually how long it's been. So join us for that watch party. I'm Nic Rohloff. I'll see you then. Hopefully the Heat can get back on track with a dub against Utah.